Namaste. Welcome to another episode of Bhojana Katha. Have you heard of red gold? It is saffron, one of the costliest spices in the world. Kesar, as we know in the north, and Kumapu, as we know it in the southern states. Saffron is native not just to India, but a few other countries from across the world. What makes our saffron very special? We will see. Some say saffron originated in Persia, some say it was in Greece. The popular folklore behind saffron is the story of two Sufi saints, Khwaja Masood and Sheikh Sharifuddin Wali. When these two Sufi saints were traveling across Kashmir, it seems they fell ill and the local chieftain cured them of their illness. They were so pleased that they gave him the bulbs of the saffron plant. Since then, this precious spice has made India its home. Kashmiri saffron is rated to be one of the best varieties of saffron in the world. Another story talks of a Kashmiri saint, Shuk Bab Sahib, who bought this spice, prayed and planted to enrich the soil of Pampur. However, even before all of this, saffron was mentioned in the Sanskrit drama Ratnavalli, written in the 7th century CE by King Harshavardhan of Kanauj. He called it the saffron of Kashmir Desha, and it had the finest color and scent. In the history of Kashmir, the historian Kalhana has mentioned that saffron was cultivated in Kashmir around 725 CE. Saffron is mentioned in Ayurveda, which means that it was known to Indians even before the 7th century CE. Saffron does not grow in all climates, all soil types. Greece has a unique story for saffron too. Crocus was a young, handsome man on earth, and Smilax was a nymph, and both fell in love. Now the gods did not approve of this strange relationship and turned Crocus into a flower, and the botanical name for the saffron flower is Crocus sativus. There are references to saffron in the Persian cooking as well. It was called Zarparan. The word saffron might have had its roots from Zarparan. It is known as Zarfar or Kesar in Hindi. Locals call it as Kong. Saffron is mostly grown in Pampur in Kashmir. Pampur is a small village, 15 minutes drive from Srinagar. It is known as the saffron capital of India. Pampur in the Pulwama district lies in the eastern bank of Jhelum river. Around 220 villages in this area grow saffron. The whole family goes to pick the flowers as it is a passion for them. It is also grown in the Pulwama, Budgam, Anantnag, Srinagar and other areas. In Pampur, more than 20,000 families are engaged in this cultivation. The bulbs are cultivated during the August to September season and they lie dormant till November. When November comes, they sprout from the bulb and are short grass-like plants. The flower blossoms just a few feet from the ground. As soon as the flower blossoms, it is to be plucked. However, it is not plucked early in the morning. The sun has to dry the dewdrops on the flower before it is plucked. Yet, it cannot be left for too long in the sun as it will dry the flower itself. So, dew or heat can spoil the flower. So, this flower has to be plucked within a specific time to get the best quality of saffron. The saffron flower is light purple colored, and it is not the flower itself that becomes the prized spice. It is the threads extracted from the stigma. Each flower has 3 stigmas and 2 stamens and a long white stem. The threads are extracted carefully from the stigma, which is the female part of the flower. Leaving the flower unattended for just a few hours could affect the quality of saffron that we get from it. The flower is separated from its yellow stamens, lilac petals and the prized crimson stigma. Once they are plucked, they are dried carefully for around 5 days. They are put into airy containers to retain their quality. Though it is the crimson stigma that becomes the costliest spice, the local women grind the petals with cardamom and dry it in the sun. This is later used in making exotic Kashmiri food during the winter season. Did you know that saffron is said to be worth its weight in gold? There are many reasons for this. It is work which is really high on labor. The seeds produced by the flower are sterile and natural pollination is impossible. The bulb of the plant is produced asexually from the vegetative propagation method. From this point itself, human intervention is needed. When the flowers are seen, the farmers have very short time to pluck and store. At each stage, the work has to be done on time, else the quality of saffron drops. So in a way, it requires highly skilled labor. How many flowers do you think yields 1 gram of saffron? 150 flowers. Yes, for 1 kilogram of saffron, one has to pluck 150,000 flowers. Can you imagine that? Now you can see how much work goes into it. Many Kashmiri dishes are made with saffron. Kahwa tea is a Kashmiri tea made with cardamom, cloves, cinnamon and saffron. Yes, saffron in tea. It is traditionally prepared in a brass kettle which is called samovar. And samovar has central space to put the coal and it is heated, and around it is a space where water is poured. The green tea leaves are popped in when water boils. Then the spices are added. Sometimes dried rose petals are also added. After a few minutes of heating in low flame, it is strained into the cups which have finely chopped almonds, cherry, pistachio, cashew nuts. Honey can be added if one has a sweet tooth. On top of this concoction, saffron is added. This drink is high on antioxidants. Nice sips during the winter season after dinner keeps one warm and cozy. Is saffron used only for cooking? No. Saffron is used in cosmetics, in medicines, it is used for dyeing clothes as well. It is said that kings and queens use saffron in their bathtubs for a luxurious bath. Iran is the largest producer of saffron, but its price is half of that of Kashmiri saffron. Many factors have challenged the cultivation and production of saffron in our country, but government is working on ways to improve the situation. For the people of Pampur and the nearby areas, saffron is their identity and their culture.